My name's Anissa. I'm a registered kinesiologist with Physiomobility. I just wanted to go over a few things before we get started for today's mobility session. All right, so the first things first is safety. Okay, so I want to make sure that you have enough area around you to move without injuring yourself. Okay, so just make sure if you have any tables in front of you, please just move them out of the way. Also, for balancing and safety concerns, if you do have any balance issues, dizziness, or vertigo, please make sure to have a person with you on the seated to standing transitions that we'll be doing at the end of the video. If you don't feel comfortable to do that, you don't have to do that whatsoever. Okay, so only go as far as you're comfortable with. Everything that we're doing is completely beginner level, and everything we'll be doing is from a seated position except for at the end. So there's three things I just want to quickly go over. The first thing being breathing. So I really want to make sure that when you're doing this mobility session, you're taking nice deep breaths throughout it, okay? So the second thing I want you to make sure is pace. You completely go at your own pace. There's absolutely no rush for this. You just want to go to whatever, listen to your body, whatever feels good. If you want to hold a stretch a little longer, you can absolutely pause the video, hold the stretch a little bit longer, just move completely however your body feels like it's right for you, okay? And the last thing I want you to focus on is mind to muscle connection. So we're really getting in tune with our body here, okay? So what we're doing is we're trying to focus on imbalances. So if your left side's a little bit tighter than your right side, you just want to make sure that you're paying attention to that and that you note that down so that you can focus on that after. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to be starting in a seated position, okay? So if you see my feet here, we're going to be starting from the ankles and moving our way up the body, okay? So the first exercise we're going to be doing is seated calf raises. So you're just going to push up on your toes, squeeze your calves right behind the leg and back down, okay? So pushing up and down. There's also no set amount of repetitions that we'll be doing for this video, so whatever you feel comfortable with, okay? So you're just gonna push up, make sure that you're squeezing your calves, nice and easy. We're just getting the blood flowing to the muscles, getting our morning started. Let's do two more. And good, okay. Now, instead of going up on our toes, what we're gonna be doing is lifting our toes up towards the ceiling, okay? So we're sitting back on our heels a little bit. So you're gonna push your toes up towards the ceiling and back down. So lifting them up and down, nice and easy, okay? Good, so this time we're working the front part of our shins here. We're working the muscles through there. Really lifting your toes up towards the ceiling and back down. Good, just take your time with it. And let's do two more. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the first movement. So in the first movement, we were lifting up our heels, going up on our toes. So now what we're going to do is as you go up on your toes, you're going to bring your heels to the outside so your knees are going in, drop the heels, come back up on the toes, turn your knees to the outside, feet turning out now, and back down. So up, turn, down, up, turn in, and down. Good, we're gonna keep going with that, okay? Once again, take your time with it, do whatever feels good. If you wanna hold in that up position just a little bit longer, by all means do that. And once again, remember, nice deep breaths, and make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall, okay? No slouch posture. And let's do one more in. And last one out. Okay, good. Now we're back in our neutral position. Feet are facing forward. For the next one, we're going to be doing, you're going to have your toes up towards the ceiling. So we're going back to the second movement. So toes going up towards the ceiling. Same idea now. So your toes are going to go out, down, then up, in, and down. Okay? So let's go again. Outside, down, up, turn in, and down. Good, we're gonna keep moving, okay guys? Good, so we're just getting those ankles warmed up for our next movements. Good, just going nice and easy. Everything should be really simple, really safe. Once again, make sure that your posture is good, sitting up nice and tall. Deep breaths. Good, let's do one more, going in And last one going out. All right, great. So now that we've kind of warmed up our ankles, we're gonna do a little bit of a stretch just to get a bit more mobility in there. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna turn your ankle, you're gonna roll under your toes here, okay? So if you can see, I'm gonna show you from the side, so you're kind of pushing down on your toes this way. So here, I'm curling under my toes and I'm gonna push my ankle forward. So your ankle should be pushing forward, you're pushing down on the floor, and then you're going back down to neutral position. So push forward on that ankle, and then relax back down. Good, you're just gonna keep moving through that, and back down. Good, and once again, if you feel that you wanna hold this position a little bit longer, by all means hold it a little bit, move around, so you can move your heel kind of back and forth with it just slightly, and back down. So we're stretching all the muscles around the front of the ankle here. And down. Good, and let's switch to the left side, okay? So here, rolling your toes under, again, you're gonna push that left ankle forward now, and then relax back down onto your left heel. So pushing forward, and back down. So remember in the beginning of the video when I talked about muscle imbalances, making sure that your muscles are working properly, noting what feels good, what doesn't feel good. So if you do have any pre-existing injuries, for example, I've injured my left ankle quite a few times, so this side feels a little bit stiffer for me. So I'm gonna hold that position a little bit longer. Also, I'm gonna kind of try and move forward. I'm just gonna hold it, move around a little bit so my ankle gets a little bit more comfortable, and back down. Good, and I'm gonna do this a couple more times. And last one here. And good. Okay, so now for the next one, so we're gonna be working on our hamstrings, okay? So that's a muscle that goes from the back of the pelvis down to the knee. So here, you're gonna extend your leg out forward. You're gonna be on the heel of your foot here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna push your hips back, keeping your posture up nice and tall. Push your hips back. So you wanna feel a stretch behind the knee and sit up tall again. So once again, hips back, straight back, and forward, okay? So I want you to keep moving through this. And back down. So I don't want anybody slouching forward. Remember, we're keeping our chest up nice and tall. Just kind of pushing your hips back as much as you can and back forward. Keep going. Back. And last two. Good. Make sure that toe's still facing up towards the ceiling. And good. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. Left side now. Here again, pushing the hips back and sitting up nice and tall, okay? Once again, go at your own pace. If you want to go slower, you can go absolutely slower and take deep breaths through it, okay? So exhale on the way down, breathe in on the way up. Good, we're gonna keep going through this. You guys are doing great. Really just warming up that body, getting that mobility and those muscles going. Good, let's do two more, okay? And last one here. Good, okay. So next one here, we're gonna be working the quads, okay? So that's on the top of your thighs here. So we're just gonna be doing leg extension. So all you're doing, keeping your toe facing up towards the ceiling, you're gonna extend, really squeeze that muscle, and back down. So squeezing up and down. Good. Nice and easy. So I want you to remember, we're not going to hike our hip up here. You want to keep your hip down nice and low, and all you're doing is squeezing this muscle, okay? Getting it nice and activated, feeling that muscle work, and squeeze in through the quad. Go nice and slow on this one, okay? No quick movements, just nice and slow, toe facing up towards the ceiling so you can get a bit of a hamstring stretch here. And let's do two more. Good. And next one, we're moving on to the left leg, same thing, okay? Bringing it up and down. Good, make sure we're keeping that hip down. All we're doing is squeezing our quad. Good, make sure you're breathing through it. Nice and easy with the pace. Make sure that toe's still facing up towards the ceiling so you're getting that hamstring stretch. And let's do 2 more. And good. Relax. Okay, so now we're going to be doing a little bit of hip flexion, okay? So this one, I really, really want you to focus on your core here. Okay, so just standing facing the side, so we don't want our core like this. We want to tuck it in, squeeze the glutes, make sure that core is nice and tight, okay? So in this position now, seated position, you're going to lift up your knee, up towards the ceiling, and back down. Okay, when you're lifting, make sure that you're not hiking this way or that you're swaying to one side. So you want to keep your body as straight as possible, keep that core engaged really tight, and drive your knee up towards the ceiling and back down. And same thing on the other side, okay? Minimal sway. Good. You should feel this working in the front of your hip flexors and in your core muscles as well. Perfect. And good. Let's do 1 more on each side. Okay, so now we're going to combine the last 2 movements. So we're going to be doing a bit of hip flexion with the leg extension. So you know how before I said to keep that hip down and just extend the leg? This time I want you to bring your hip up the same way we just did with the hip extensions. Sorry, the hip flexion here. And you're going to extend your leg, bring it bent, back in and down. So bringing it up, keeping that core nice and tight, bringing your legs straight, toes facing the ceiling, back in and down. Good, we'll just stick with the right side. I really want you to focus on isolating those movements. So it's core, knee up, extend, squeeze that quad, you'll stretch in the back of the knee, bend it back in and down. Good, let's do 2 more. And last one. You guys are doing great, okay? Keep going. Good, okay, now we're gonna be switching to the left side. Once again, take your time. First, we're gonna engage the core, so make sure it's nice and strong. Here, I'm gonna lift up, drive my left knee towards the ceiling, extend your leg, back in and down. And again, good. Nice and slow, control the movement, okay? Really make sure that you feel what's working. So first it's core again. Then you're driving up the hip flexor, squeezing the quad, feeling stretch behind the knee, bending the leg, back down. Good. Easy, nice and slow, okay? Let's control it. 3 more. 1. Good. And 2. And last one here. 3. Good, that was really well done. Okay, so next one here, you're gonna grab underneath your right knee, lift it up towards the ceiling, and again, you're just gonna extend the leg and back in. Okay, so you're just moving through this one nice and gentle. If you wanna hold that, you should feel a little bit of an added stretch in the hamstring because we're lifting it higher. If you can't hold your leg up, that's totally fine. Just go back to the extension ones, or you can keep the hip down and just extend the knee. If you can't reach under your knee, continue with the ones that we were doing before, okay? Good. Remember, pointing that toe up towards the ceiling, moving through it. Let's do 1 more on this right side. Good, relax, okay? Now we're gonna switch to the left side. And push through. Good. If you do feel any sharp pain or discomfort, please stop the movement immediately and go back to movement that felt better, or you can just take a break. You can always pause this video, rewind it. This video also will be published after, so you can go back to it to keep up this daily mobility routine, okay? Good, keep the toes pointing up. Let's do 2 more on this left side. And good, okay. For the next one, we're gonna be working through our glutes, okay? So you're gonna be lifting the leg up like we did in the hip flexion, pushing your leg out, back in, and down. Once again, if you struggle to lift your leg, just keep it down, push your leg to the outside, and back down, okay? You can also use your right hand to push against the right knee, so you want to feel an additional stretch on the inside of your thigh, and back in, okay? If you're coming up, pushing it out like this. And I want to make sure that when you're pushing your knee outside, you're squeezing that right glute, so it's kind of pushing your right hip forward here, okay? So you're going to feel an additional stretch. Good. And once again, if you're lifting your leg up, you can use your right hand to assist you in that stretch, okay? Let's do 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, now we're going to move on to the left side. So same thing, bringing it up, grabbing the left knee, squeeze the glute, and back in. So remember, squeeze on that left side there, and back. Once again, you can stay low on the ground, and same idea. Use your left hand to push out, and left glute pushing forward. Good, so now this time, you should feel a stretch on the inside here. And let's go again. Good, just take your time through it, okay guys? You're doing great. And let's relax. Okay, so now we're moving on to our lower back. So you're gonna have your feet in front of you here. So your feet are no longer bent at a 90-degree angle. They are more in front of you as much as you can. You're still gonna have a slight bend in the knees though here. Starting in the seat position, you wanna sit up nice and tall. Your hands are gonna start by your hips. I want you to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna lean forward, down to your toes as much as you can, stretch forward, and back up. Only go as far as you can, okay? So if you can only go to here, just kind of hold that position a little bit longer, and then straight back up, okay? Stretching down and back up. Really take your time with this one. If you feel that you can't go any further, that's completely fine. Just hold it there a little bit longer, and then on the next one, you should be able to go just a little bit further. Good. Keep going. Remember, just hands are going down the legs and stretching out, so you should feel a nice stretch in that lower back, okay? So remember, you're starting off, posture up, nice and tall. Breathe out, round the back, stretch down, back up. Good. Let's do one more. And good. Okay. Next one here. So you're going to be reaching over the left side. You're going to reach down and back up. So this time we're focusing more on the side of the lower back, okay? So your opposite hand is reaching to the outside of your leg. So on this, in this case, left hand outside of my right knee, and bring it down and back up. Once again, only go as far as you can, okay? Let's do a few more. Good. Remember, same thing with the breathing, okay? So we're going to take a deep breath up. Exhale on the way down. Nice and easy. Good. And let's switch to the other side. Deep breath in. And out. Good. Breathe through it. And let's do 2 more on this left side. Good. Okay, we're almost done, guys, all right? So the next one you're going to do, crossing your leg over here. You're going to grab that left knee, sorry. You're going to bring it towards your body and then push it away from your body. Notice how my knee is rocking with me, so I'm getting as much mobility as possible. If you feel like this is too much, all I want you to do in this position is just hold it here and lean forward if you can. So sitting up and lean forward. You should feel a nice stretch in that glute there. If that is too easy, bringing it up closer to you and then pushing away. Okay, let's do it 2 more times. And last one. Good. Okay, now moving on to the other side, same thing. If you want, just hold it here. You can rock forward and back a little bit, nice and easy, and then pulling it towards you and back down. Good. You just want to keep going with this and breathe through it, okay? This is going to be the most uncomfortable one. That's it. Just take your time. And if you want, just hold it. Let's do it one more time. And good. Okay, for the very last movement, what we're going to be doing is sit down to stand up. So this is the one, if you have any balance issues, please make sure you have a wall next to you to help you with it. If not, have a person support you. And if you don't have anybody near you and you're worried about balance, please just stay seated and continue with some of the movements that we've been doing before, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to sit down to stand up and then easy back down, okay? If that's too easy for you, what I'm going to get you to do, you're going to do squats onto the couch. So you're going to sit back, just slightly touch, and stand back up. Okay, nice and easy. Once again, take your time with it. Deep breaths. And now to add some of that ankle movement that we were doing in the beginning. So if you're doing a sit to stand, it's going to look like this. You're going to stand up, go up on the toes, back down, sit back down all the way. So once again, standing up on the toes, back down, and sit down. If you're doing a squat now, it looks like this. So you're going to squat, up on the toes. Squat down, slightly touch, back up on the toes. Make sure you're taking your time, okay? If the calf raises are too much, just don't do them. Just simply do the sit to stand or the squats, okay? Let's do 3 more, guys. And last one. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. So I just want to let you know that you can do these mobility routine from a seated position every single day. The more you do it, the more your body will feel good, especially if you're in a position where you're sitting down for long periods of time. This is a perfect routine for you, just to help move that lower body and warm it up, okay? So once again, this video will be published after, so you can continue doing these routines every day. And for next week, we're going to be doing more mobility on the floor, okay? So make sure that you have a clear space around you with a mat. And I look forward to working with you guys next time.